You are refreshed. We liked you better when you were depressed. Much more manageable then. So bring us around to where you are.
Let's see.
Addictions?
Yes. I actually asked you about this before, and one of the things that stuck was you said it's basically about releasing the lack of appreciation for self. Releasing the lack of appreciation for self. And
tricky, isn't it? Because releasing the lack of self-appreciation is like trying to heal something. You're focused right on the thing you're trying to release, but because you're focused on it, you've activated it, so you're doing the opposite of what you are intending to do.
Well, it's your words. I mean, I understand. I understand.
So instead of focusing on releasing the lack of appreciation, but you see, here's what's tricky. When you don't appreciate yourself and you try to appreciate yourself, it's such a big jump, you don't make the jump. And then, so what you're trying to do is just chill a little, just not worry about it so much, just sort of make it like not such a big deal. Just take smaller steps toward it.
I can find moderate appreciation, maybe not woohoo, but yeah, I'm happy that's there. I'm happy this is...
But the thing that we want you to hear is when you get this, that everything is relative. Everything, it's all about the relationship between who you're being right now by what you're focused upon and who you really are. And so you don't need to be over the moon about yourself. You just want to not be hard on yourself. Just give yourself a break. Just give yourself the benefit of the doubt. And if you do that consistently, then the next habit will take hold. And so your earlier question is so wonderful about the 68 seconds and about the focus of thought and about the habit of thought or even the habit of action of addiction. When you consistently focus feeling pretty good about yourself, the next logical step is feeling even better. When you consistently focus on feeling even better, then the next logical step is feeling yahoo about yourself. In other words, but when you say, well, I can do it, but I never get there, that means because you're getting there and turning back and getting there and turning back and getting there and turning back and getting there and turning back. But hear us, getting there and turning back, getting there and turning back, getting there and turning back. Instead, get there and don't turn back and get there and don't turn back and get there and don't turn back and get there and don't turn back, or not much. At least be aware when you are, so that you can offer some corrective thought.
That is improving, and I really do get the sense of that.
Perfect.
So I have some questions about it. There was something on the tape, I think last week or the week before, when one was talking about when a cookie is relief or something, and you said exactly that, where you reach for the cookie and then you go back upstream. If it continues to be relief, I don't know if I'm getting this exactly right. If the cookie is constant relief and then an attraction, or a drug or an alcohol, it means you go for the cookie, it gets a little relief. You go back upstream. Cookie, go back upstream.
Now let's talk about this, because you're right on something, and it's about what we were saying earlier, that you all have to accept your own relationship in your own stream and leave everybody else and whatever they're doing in their relationship with themselves and their stream.
That's challenging.
It is, and yet but otherwise you are never going to sort it out. It just makes you crazy. Can you imagine if the navigational systems, instead of giving Jerry and Esther one map of where they are, leading them to where they want to go, got really helpful and gave them 20 maps about people that aren't even where they are?
Street signs and a box that's a navigational thing is a little different than a feeling inside that's
We know
unseen.
It's not nearly as good.
No, the analogy is...
The feeling, because the feeling inside is ever present, and the feeling inside is sourced within you, and the feeling in other words, if you will
trusting that it means what it means is kind of where I'm at.
You hardly let us get a word in before you protest. Before you protest.
Yeah.
In other words,
it is where I'm at. It is. Well, I don't mind seeing that.
There have been so many incredible streams of thoughts that have moved through here.
Yeah.
And each time we begin to give you a solution, you amplify the problem and make the solution irrelevant to you in the moment because you can't find it.
Okay.
And that's all right, because as you say, that is where you are. But here's the thing that here's the thing that we think you can hear, because you're right there, and the question is so strong within you. So I know that I'm not where I want to be, and I know where I am. And it's irritating that I'm not more often turning in the direction of what would feel better. And we say, so think about how downstream the thought is that says, but I'm getting there little by little. Think about how downstream the thought is that says, I am figuring this out. Think about how downstream the thought is that says, I have been seeing all kinds of improvement in my experience, and on many subjects I've really got it. In other words, you're just wanting to look for the evidence of your ability to deliberately apply, and as you look for the slightest little bit of evidence, then the very thing that you're telling us with your words, that is the thing that's stuck in your vibrational craw, which is that you don't really like yourself as much as we want you to, and as much as the source energy within you does, begins to dissipate. In other words, when you keep arguing for your limitations, you keep them activated in your vibration. And what's happened to you, and so many like you, but it is very evident with you, you see, you have been an uplifter from the moment you were born and long before. And you figured it out very early on that when you behaved appropriately, those who you cared about, who were close to you, gave you a sign of their approval and therefore of your success by rewarding you with their compliment or with their approval, or at least with them not being upset with you. So you began to vie for their appreciation and their approval. And what happens in the process of that, it's why so many people are sort of in a scramble today. It's all right when there's only one of them. As soon as there are two of them who don't agree with each other, then you already are in deep doo-doo. But when you get out into the world where there are more and more and more, you simply lose your way. And then it becomes all rhetoric as you try this and try that. But there is just no getting around it. Who you are and what you want on every subject of the world is known by the source within you and is being offered by a signal that is undeniable to you. And every time you deny the signal, no matter how justified in doing it you are, you don't feel good. It is just that simple. And so we give you all of this information. People come here because they want more money, or they want their lover, or they want an improved whatever. They want to create their own reality in a way that is pleasing to them. And we give them our awareness of the laws and our awareness of vibration and our awareness of them. And we teach endlessly through offering process after process. And people often think that, well, if I sit in that chair or if I listen to that recording, I will hear the keys that will get me from this place of being without something I want to this place of having something that I want. And we want you to know that in every case, what you want is feeling better. You think you want the lover, or you think you want the money, or you think you want the whatever it is, but the reason you want it, no matter what it is that you believe you will feel better in the having of it. So if you could just leave out whatever it is and go straight to, I care so much about how I feel that I'm going to start guiding myself vibrationally because of the feeling of it. Because what happens when any of you say, I will apply this process, or I will make this effort so that I can get from here to over here. What happens is you become infinitely aware that you're here, and here gets activated as you want to be over there, which gets activated, which causes this tug of war, and then you don't go anywhere. But if you're saying, I care about how I feel, so I'm going to reach for the best feeling thought about this subject that I can, and you hang in there for the 17 seconds to the 68 seconds that it takes to really find the improved feeling, now you've got instant manifestation of feeling better, which is what you want the object of your attention about anyway, and then what you want has to come to you. A friend said to us one day, not feeling actually that friendly toward us, Abraham, I don't think you care if my lover ever comes. I think you just want me to get so good at envisioning that he is here in my mind that it doesn't matter to me that he isn't here. And we said, that's exactly right. Because when you feel that good, you feel good. First of all, that's got to be worth something to you. And it's worth everything to you. And then your lover must come. But we want to go back to that. It's worth everything to you. That emptiness you feel, that feeling of unworthiness you feel, is only the feeling of you not being up to speed with you. That's all it is. And so we say, so try to find a thought that feels better. And you say, but I'm unworthy. And we say, but you wouldn't feel unworthy if you're trying to find a thought that feels better. And you say, I know. I want to try to find a thought that feels better, but I'm unworthy. And we say, but the reason you feel unworthy is because you're not finding a thought that feels better. And you say, I know, but I feel unworthy. And we say, we could go on like this forever and ever and ever and ever and ever. You just finally got to say, to heck with whatever it is that I want it for. Never mind the lover, never mind the money, never mind what it is. I want to feel better. And this thought feels better than that thought, period. This thought feels better than that thought, period. This thought feels better than that thought, period. And when you get on, can't you see that if you are in despair and you find revenge, you've moved closer to who you really are. And from revenge, if you find anger, you've moved closer to who you are. And from anger, if you find frustration, you've moved closer to who you are. And from frustration, if you find hope, you've moved closer to who you are. And from hope, if you find believing, if you find knowing, if you find love, and if you find appreciation, little by little by little by little, you activate it. And law of attraction has to give you something close to where you are. So if you are down here on the emotional scale where it doesn't feel good, and you are doing the only thing you can do was just try to find something that feels a little better, everything in your world shifts because you now have a different range of vibration. In other words, by just making the effort to try to feel better, which is making the effort of just chilling out a little, letting go of whatever it is that's bothering you. At least don't speak it right now. Try to change the subject in your mind. Try to find something that feels a little better. Give yourself or somebody else the benefit of the doubt. Just try to feel a little better. Just let go of those oars, just occasionally, just a little bit. What happens is you shift, and now where your range of vibration before was where you were and here, now your range of vibration is here, and then your range of vibration is here, and then here, improved. And when you get sort of in the proximity of who you are, when you reach the place that you are beginning to feel hopeful, you've got it made. Knowing what you know about alignment of energy, and knowing what you know about being an extension of source, and knowing what you know about vibration, and knowing what you know about law of attraction, when you get into the hopeful range, do you know you've got it made? Because when you get into the hopeful range, it's a really fast trip into alignment with who you are. So
a little question around that. The working on multiple subjects, moving multiple subjects, or letting go of resistance around multiple subjects, for me can be, I don't know, sometimes a little much. There's like overall.
But here's the thing.
I'm here.
Here's the thing. You're moving multiple subjects from the central place of where you are. So if you're ornery and pessimistic about one thing, you're usually ornery and pessimistic about most things. So
really?
if you take the most hopeful thing that you can find, and you use it as your object of attention to focus on, and train yourself into a different vibrational pattern of thought, every subject in your life benefits. Because, you're really going to like this. Because, now think about this. This is so good. So, most humans really think that the creation part is the figuring out what you want part. It's sort of like identifying it and then saying it over and over and over again until you bring yourself to it. But that isn't even close to the way that it works. The way that it works is life causes you, through the process of life, to ask for that, and to ask for that, and to ask for that, and to ask for that. And so all of the asking has been done, and all of the answering of the asking has been done, and all of the things that you want are in vibrational escrow, awaiting your alignment to them. So if you use any excuse in the world to feel better, you move closer to everything in your vibrational escrow.
Nice.
You see how it works? And so people will say, I'm doing so good and good. This is going well, and this is going well, and this is going well, but that And don't you notice that that thing that you're most troubled about gets the most of your thought?
Yeah.
So you use the 1 or 2 or 5 or 10 things that aren't going the way you want them to as your excuse to turn yourself in opposition, when there's not a reason in the world that you couldn't be just as easily moving, more easily really, because everything that you are is calling you this way.